and Seven and the Fantastic Four, the novel First Flight and sequels, Chronicles of the Shadow Wars trilogy, the highly undervalued Star Trek graphic novel, Debt of Honor, and of course, a genre-defining tenure on the Uncanny X-Men series, which expanded to miniseries, graphic novels, spin-offs, and the highest-selling comic of all time, X-Men #1. Chris, how are you? Yeah, Chris is saying that too. Our marathoners have been with us since Thursday.
Well, it's bloody hell. Well, it's been a long day. Well, it's been a long day. It's a Monday evening. No, it's a Friday evening social and jives. All queued up to find that it's late. Sorry, I'm vamping. It's been fun. How you had what? God. I see your lights. I hope you're having a great time. Can't tell, it's like, okay, half of them are clapping and half of them are tweeting. I'm sorry, it's not tweeting. Tweeting is for birds. If you're called Twitter, it's that other word.
Absolutely.
You know, on the other hand, yeah, right. It's really nice to see you here at the 2018, season. This is NYCC, not CTV. What?
Ad-free.
Ad-free?
No.
Ad-free.
2021.
We're at 2021.
2021?
Yeah, 2018 is supposed to be
Oh, damn, I thought I was holding my breath. It's been, I have to say, it's been an interesting 20 months since the last New York Comic Con. How y'all been? People say, how are you, Chris? Very cool. So that's a good set. I'm actually writing a story that's going to be published in February of 22, which is, it will be thank you.
Props to that guy.
My conscience, X-Men Legends 12, starring Nightcrawler.
Oh.
For those of you who are wondering what happened in the real world, this is the, wait, when I was last reading Uncanny, yes, they just survived the Newton Massacre, yes. Kitty got pasted back together by Dr. Doom working with Reed Richards, yes. And they looked like absolute shite, yes. But when they magically appeared in Excalibur Special Edition #1, yes, they looked perfect. Yes. How did that happen? Well, come back in February, you'll find out. And what I've realized is it was a lot easier when NYCC started, like a long time ago, in a galaxy far away. And some of us were, what's the word? Oh yes, younger. Oh, for goodness sakes. Anyway, I would say, toss me a question and I'll answer it. If you're talking for coherent thought, you've come to the wrong guy.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to the beginning of Marvel. How you got involved in the office capacity, I believe?
The office capacity was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Less than 2 dozen.
Yeah.
The office was about, well, fictitiously the size of this table. We were on 62nd Street and Madison Avenue, about 2 or 3 floors below the National Lampoon. basically it was a lot of open space. Stan had the only office with a door, and he'd lock it. And then, all that. That's if he came in at all. Because he was so busy, he worked from home, oddly enough. You know, I'm the boss, but I'm dealing with this as a freelancer. And on the other side of the partition was the sort of editorial management office, which was Roy Thomas, who was basically running things. And Suzanne Stacy was a business manager at Marvel at the time. And Roy's wife at the time, who was his general secretary, Sam's secretary, but she got drafted to be everybody's secretary. And then you walk down this hall, and the first desk on the right was, as you're heading out, was John Verporten's. John Verporten, well, let's see. Imagine someone who is 6'7" tall, about 6'7" wide, but none of it was plump. With a beard and long hair, and looked surprisingly like Volstagg, but way scarier. And he was the editorial manager of Marvel. In other words, he was the guy who made sure that you got your books in on time, or you had the wrath of John. Which, trust me, the only thing more terrifying than that was what came along 10 years later, which was the wrath of Virginia. And if any of you have talked to John Jr., you'll know who Virginia is. Romita, wife of John Sr. And then on the left, you had the bullpen. The bullpen at this time consisted of Marie Severin, Herb Trimpe, John Romita Sr., and Frank Giacoya. It's like saying, hi, the practice league is made up of, Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, Whitey Ford, and God. I mean, and then
That's a murderer's row of talent.
and that's the bullpen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm sorry. No offense to the current cache of artists working for Marvel. You have no effing idea. Oh, what, and across was the sort of tech room where Tony Mortellaro and basically that's where he photostat and everything. Yes, we didn't have computers back then. We had Xerox machines and photostats and mechanical devices, and it was just, we used typewriters. I'm sorry, you may not be familiar with this concept. It's a big machine. Generally in those days produced by IBM. That's a company called Industrial Business Machines. And I know if you've seen, what's it say, the NASA film, the three-man,
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures. Well, there's a scene where they couldn't get the Mac Pro portable through the window, well, the IBM GoPro through the window. They had to knock down a wall. A portable computer in those days was roughly the size of a semi-trailer. I'm not kidding, actually, they were really huge. So we all used IBM Selectrics. And they were cool.
Yeah.
You ruined your fingers if you couldn't type, and I did. And we made Xeroxes. We made lots and lots and lots. We had photocopying machines. We had, it was a bygone era. And then you had the receptionist desk, which was where the office receptionist sat, and the young punk flunky who did all the scuff work, which is me. Oh, and then we had the reception area, which was a couch, and a door, and a hall, which was basically where the lifts were. Sorry, elevators. And as I said, 3 floors above us was National Lampoon, which.
Hi, Mr. Claremont. I'm Gene. And I'm a big fan of your stories, and I tend to be a purist when it comes to the translation of your stories into other media. And,
I'm a purist too, but
Well, what I mean by that is like a lot of your stories are basically the main source material for all the movies for the X-Men and for the movies and the cartoons. But which of them, I guess, do you feel like translated the worst? And you're somewhat the most disappointed.
I'm not sure there's enough time. Well, there's X3. That kind of embraces it all in one swell group. On the other hand, there's Apocalypse, which, if at first you can't succeed, fuck it up again. All right. Okay, I'll end on it. Okay, just imagine we get to the end of Days of Future Past, and Hugh Jackman's like, wow, everything's new and shiny. Gene. Hello, Logan. Hi, Logan. Scott. You're not dead, shit. But just imagine if in that moment she says, oh, here's our daughter Rachel. And Sophie Turner steps out. Wow. Well, bear in mind, at this point, she's still shortish. She hasn't grown yet. That'll be the next one. And it's like, wow, okay. So Logan goes off because he doesn't want to do this anymore. And Sophie and Famke is sleeping. And she has a nightmare. What? Well, because when she was with Logan for that split second, she read his mind. And all of his memories, the counterpoint to the real world that they think they know, are in there, and she sees the events of Dark Phoenix, of X3. Leaving aside the critical factor, what she sees is what happens with her. And it's like, what the dickens was that? And she wakes up, and there's energy crackling all around her, almost like a bird wing. And it goes out the door and down the hall, and she's following it. Scott, of course, is dead sleeping, because that's his role in life, to not. And she runs down the room, runs through the halls until she gets to Rachel's room, and there's Sophie sleeping, and the Phoenix is embracing her. And she's going, what? And so, oh, sorry, parenthetical aside. This has nothing to do with anything, but what the hell? I'm gonna need another 30 seconds. End of Captain Marvel. End of credits, blank screen, you start hearing a phone ring. And the phone's still ringing. And everyone's sitting there wondering, is this a trailer or somebody left their phone on? And it's still ringing, and suddenly the screen lights up, and you're in a high rise, looking out across Boston. Huh, that's cool. And the phone is on the desk in front of you ringing, and in comes Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. Picks up the phone, Patrick Susan. Carol? And she looks at him. Charles? And she looks up, she grins like the biggest joke in the world, looks straight at the reader, and the screen goes black. Now, I'm sorry, if that had happened, I'd be sitting there going, what? Yeah. Anyway, back to the previous story. So Jean's looking at Rachel and wondering, what the hell is this? Black. So, next film, Apocalypse, set in the present day, not in the past, because, well, hey, present day means suspense. So Apocalypse is coming after the X-Men. Now, the other thing that's happened is Patrick Stewart is playing Charlie, but in his head, the active wielder of the power is James McAvoy. Young Charlie, vibrant Charlie, Charlie still with hair, what a concept. So when Apocalypse comes after the X-Men, Charlie is the one who gets in the way and fights him when James McAvoy fights Apocalypse, and as in the movie, gets his ass kicked. This is the trigger for the Westchester incident 3 films later. But now he's down, he's out. What happens next? Well, because Apocalypse knows Charlie's an old fart, he's not gonna bind himself to this guy who's 90 years old, and he's gonna, even though Patrick Stewart may last another 50 years, but not Xavier. You laugh, have you ever seen Patrick Stewart? The only thing more impressive than him is Ian McKellen. But his target is Jean. So there's Famke, grabbed by Apocalypse, slammed onto the slab, because Apocalypse's attitude is, haven't been a girl in a long time, let's give it a shot. Hey, what is this, a Claremont book? And so he's, you know, starting to merge with her, and her hair is starting to fall off. And that's when Jean wakes up. That's when you have the moment where she comes out and it's like, Lee, get your hands off my mother, you know. Does the Sigourney Weaver line from Aliens. Get your hand, you know. And they fight. And Apocalypse loses. And Sophie is like, what? And the Phoenix pops up. And there it is. The power is there. And it embraces her. And everyone's going, what the? And there's either two ways you can do with this. The power erupts out of her and shoots across the galaxies, a long, long way across the galaxies. And when it gets to the other end, Sophie's hungry. Oh, there's a star. She's a kid. She doesn't know any better. She eats the star. Has no idea there's an inhabited planet. She has no idea what the hell's happening. It's like, I don't know what's going on. This is weird. This is a hell of a trip. And then she comes back and it's like, she's in shock. Okay, now everything's set up. The planet's been destroyed. The Shi'ar starship has been destroyed. What's next? What's next is Phoenix, where Sophie steps forward under Jean's tutelage and, saves creation by stopping the whatchamacallit stone from going. And everybody's like, wow, that's great. Except the Shi'ar are like, nah, not so much. Because she did something bad, and we're worried about what happens next. And the last film is Dark Phoenix. And that is the true Westchester incident. And who dies? Well, we don't know. We know 12 people will die. But who? Well, we know Charlie isn't one of them. And Logan isn't the other one. Is not the other one. But who would be? If you run down the list of X-Men that you throw out into this mix, who lives? Who dies? I don't know. I'm not writing the screenplay. But that, to me, if you're going to bring this to an end and have the audience sitting on the edge of their seat wondering what the happens next, which is the idea, oddly enough, that Kevin Feige's been running for the last 12 years with brilliance, that's the way to do it. You know, and I think that's what was the idea with the original Dark Phoenix. But, you know, here's the thing. Sorry, I'll just keep vamping for another couple of minutes. This is the irony. So, I don't know if you remember back to 2015, 16? There was this movie called Dark Phoenix that was in trailers at Christmas. And everyone, you know, whoa. And after one screening, it vanished. And we went, whoa, what happened? You know, that must have been really awful. Oh wait, they're going back to reshoot. This movie must suck. And the word went around, and everyone's sitting there going, oh man, this, you know, they made a Dark Phoenix movie, and it's being reshot, and it must suck. It's like everybody was happy to find out it must suck. Well, turns out Disney was in negotiation with this other company to buy it. And the Murdochs were kind of, maybe we don't want to, maybe we do want to, maybe we don't want to, maybe we do want to. Disney's attitude was, we want our effing Marvel characters back, and if we have to buy the whole stupid film company, everything but Marvel, but Fox News to do it, we'll do it. You know, but they hadn't gotten quite to that point yet. But this other movie, Captain Marvel, was in pre-production. And Kevin, you know, and the Marvel guys, you know,
Captain Marvel, the guy, has no powers worth a damn. He's big and he hits things, wow, and he flies, wow. Audiences are gonna love that. And Kevin had this bright idea. Well, you know, there's this character Binary who's also Carol Danvers, and she's got kick-ass powers. Visual, flies through space, blows up stars, the whole 9 yards. But she's an X-Men character. A, we're gonna buy the idiot, so we'll just not tell anybody we're stealing all the stuff. Well, many years ago, Dave Copper and I were sitting down trying to figure out how to give Carol Danvers an outfit and powers that weren't derived from Captain Marvel. Because who wants to have a star woman character derived from a middle-class men character? That's like traditional in comics, but it doesn't work. So we swiped. Phoenix was dead. She didn't need the powers. We gave them to her. So now Kevin swiped them from Binary and gave them to Captain Marvel. And except the problem was Fox had already had a finished Phoenix movie, Dark Phoenix movie, in the can, which turned out to have pretty much the exact same third act as Captain Marvel. Because I don't know if you remember the third act of Captain Marvel. You know, there's these 3 big Kree ships. You know, there's Ronan the Accuser going, "Urgh." You know, I really gotta feel sorry for the guys who were on the other ship that Carol ate, but that's a whole different thing. And there's this moment where Carol's just floating in front of them, daring them to do something. And I'm looking at that and thinking, huh, I've seen that visual before. Drawn by Dave, drawn by John, drawn by Paul Smith. Not saying that you guys swiped it, but you guys swiped it. So there you are. All of the third act of Captain Marvel and the third act of Dark Phoenix are the same. So the rule was that the third act had to be reshot, X-Men had to be reshot. So that's why the movie was pulled, because they had to get everybody together. But this being Hollywood, all the actors were doing other films at the time, and it took them 5 or 6 months to actually get them in the same place at the same time to do it. So it took a year to get the film reshot and up for grabs. Meantime, everybody's saying, this is terrible, this is awful, you know. So by the time the movie actually came out, and they had to remove any reference to or power suggesting Dark Phoenix. So what you have is a 2-hour movie called Dark Phoenix with absolutely nothing in it relating to Dark Phoenix, especially counting Sophie Turner's really bad skin condition. See, nobody saw the movie, so they don't know what happened. So there you go. You know, Captain Marvel opens, everybody goes, whoa! And then 2 weeks later, Dark Phoenix opens, and everybody's like, what the? And what you have is, instead of Dark Phoenix, you have Jean Grey has a really bad day. And if you look at it from that perspective, it's actually not a bad movie. It's pretty good. But if you're looking at it from the point of view that I want this to be Dark Phoenix, welcome to Hollywood.
He'll be back at his table tomorrow. Please stop by and see him. Got lots of neat stuff.